Olive was in a big room surrounded by tall shelves full of books. It was very quiet.
Where am I?
Said Olive, rather loudly.
Shh! Be quiet, please. You're in a library.
A face peered out from behind one of the bookshelves. It was a little red squirrel with a big bushy tail.
Oh, sorry.
Olive whispered.
I'm Olive. Why is it so quiet in this library?
Because it's a place where you come to read or borrow books. It's best to have quiet when you're trying to read. I'm Henry Huckleberry, and I love to read.
Oh, me too.
Trouble is, I can't find my favourite book anywhere.
What's it called?
It's a big yellow book called Attack of the Mutant Space Frogs. It's really awesome.
It was then Olive and Henry heard someone muttering.
Oh dear, oh dear.
They peered behind a shelf and saw a little red-faced bookworm putting books back on the shelves.
Oh dear, oh bother.
Excuse me.
Whispered Olive.
What? What is it? I'm very busy, you know.
We're looking for a book. Wilfred, it's called Attack of the Mutant...
Sorry, I haven't got time to find your book. I've got all these books to put back on the shelves. Too much to do. Got to go.
Henry sighed.
This place is such a mess. My book could be anywhere.
Wait,
Said Olive.
look, there's a yellow book on the top of that tall shelf.
Oh, yes, that's Attack of the Mutant Space Frogs. But we're never going to reach it way up there.
Lots of books that can be piled up really high. I think I may have an idea.
Henry and Olive stacked the books higher and higher until the pile almost touched the ceiling.
There, we'll have your book down in no time.
Olive began to climb the stack of books, but as Olive climbed higher, the books became more and more wobbly.
Be careful, Olive.
Whispered Henry. Finally, Olive got to the top. She had to lean over to grab Henry's book with her beak, but then the stack of the books really started to wobble. Olive couldn't keep her balance anymore. And then the whole stack collapsed. The books came tumbling down into a huge heap, burying Olive and Henry.
Oops.
Said Olive. Wilfred came rushing over.
Shh! What is this terrible mess?
Sorry, we were just trying to get my favourite book from the top shelf, and it all went horribly wrong.
We can help you put all these books back on the shelves, Wilfred.
Well, yes, I suppose that would be very helpful.
So Olive, Henry and Wilfred put all the books back onto the shelves. Finally, there was just one book left.
Wow! Attack of the Mutant Space Frogs. I've been looking for this book for ages. It's my favourite.
Wow, mine too.
Beamed Henry.
Why don't we read it together?
Yes! Great idea!
Shouted Wilfred.
Shush.
Shushed Olive and Henry.
Sorry,
Whispered Wilfred.
I should really keep my voice down. This is a library, don't you know?
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay. Actually, I helped find Attack of the Mutant Space Frogs.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.
Olive the Ostrich!
Olive was standing on a large grey planet. She was wearing a strange helmet that was attached to a big backpack.
Oh, look at the sky. Isn't it beautiful?
Suddenly, a little green man popped out of one of the holes. He was carrying a bright red handbag.
Oh dear, oh dear.
He said as he hurried past Olive.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Hello, my name's Olive. What's the hurry?
The little green man stopped.
Oh hello. My name is Buzzapalema Hoopilaga Roopilaba Bababaja Camu Beep, but you can call me Sarah.
Oh, Sarah. That's an odd name for a little man.
Well, of course, I am an alien.
That's true. Nice to meet you, Sarah. I've never met an alien before.
Well, it's nice to meet you too, but I'm in a real hurry. Can't stop and chat.
But why are you in such a rush?
It's my mum's birthday, and I've bought her a sunstone. Problem is, I'm so forgetful I've gone and forgotten where I've put it, and my mum will be here in her spaceship any minute now.
Oh dear. I could help you look, but I don't know what a sunstone looks like.
Sarah opened his handbag and took out a large pad of paper and some crayons.
I'm a great drawer. I can draw you a picture of a sunstone, and then maybe you could help me look for it, Olive.
Sarah sat down and drew a lovely picture of a big red stone. Olive looked thoughtfully at the drawing.
Your picture's really good. In fact, it's so good, I think I may have an idea. Why don't you draw lots and lots of pictures of the sunstone and write missing across it in big letters? I'll pin them up, and then if anyone sees the stone, they'll know where to hand it in.
So Sarah sat and drew picture after picture after picture. And Olive ran all around the planet, pinning them anywhere and everywhere. Eventually, the whole planet was covered in pictures of the sunstone. Olive and Sarah waited and waited and waited.
Oh dear, no one's come to tell us they found the sunstone. And after all that work we did.
Oh, hang on. I forgot. No one else lives on this planet but me.
Oh, so no one else is going to see our posters anyway? Well, now we're never going to find the sunstone. The whole planet is covered in our posters.
Oh no, here comes my mum.
Just then, Sarah's mum arrived in her spaceship. She was wearing a beautiful red stone around her neck, just like the ones in the pictures.
Oh my goodness.
Sarah's mum exclaimed.
You've decorated the whole planet for my birthday. And thank you so much for this lovely sunstone. It arrived in the space mail this morning.
Olive shook her head and chuckled.
Sarah, you're so forgetful. You forgot you'd already sent the sunstone to your mum in the space mail. Maybe you should write everything down so you don't forget things in the future.
Of course, that's what the crayons and the paper were for.
They all laughed. And as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Actually, I've been to another planet and helped an alien.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.
Olive the Ostrich!
Olive's feet were buried in soft yellow sand. It was very hot and sunny,
Where am I?
said Olive. She could see 3 huge triangular-shaped buildings in the distance. Olive was so busy looking at the pyramids, she didn't notice the huge hole in the ground and fell right in. Olive picked herself up. There was someone in the middle of the hole, digging deeper and deeper into the sand.
Hello? Hello?
Called Olive. The digging stopped, and a small mole popped his head up and squinted at Olive.
Hello? Who's there? I cannot see you.
Complained the mole.
Hello, I'm Olive. Nice to meet you.
I'm Horace Molius, archaeologist extraordinaire. Welcome to Egypt.
Egypt? How exciting! But what's an archaeologist?
An archaeologist is a discoverer of old things hidden underground, but today I'm just trying to find my mummy.
Explained Horace.
Oh, I've heard about these ancient Egyptian mummies that have been buried in the sand for thousands of years. I'd love to see one for real. Oh, why are you throwing all of these treasures away?
Olive pointed at a pile of sand containing lots of sparkly gems and jewels.
Oh, what treasure?
Said Horace. Olive held up a crystal, and Horace had a really close look at it.
Oh, you're right.
Said Horace.
I can't see a thing. I've lost my glasses somewhere in the desert.
Olive looked around and had a think.
Shiny crystals, an old whip, I think I may have an idea. There you go, Horace.
Said Olive. She had tied the whip around Horace's head, looping 2 crystals on it to make a pair of glasses.
Oh, I can see. I can see.
Horace cried. He was jumping for joy. But Horace's jumping had loosened the ground. It started to crack beneath their feet. Olive and Horace fell through the ground and disappeared.
Are you okay, Horace?
Asked Olive as she dusted herself down.
Yes, I'm all right.
Okay.
Exclaimed Olive as she looked around in wonder. The room was full of all sorts of ancient Egyptian treasures.
Oh, back home again. That's a shortcut I've never used before. And I was close to my mummy all along. Mummy!
Cried Horace as he rushed to give his mummy a really big hug.
Welcome home, dear.
Said Horace's mum.
Oh! So you meant you were looking for your actual mummy, Horace. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Molius. I have to say, you look much younger than the mummy I was expecting. I thought we were looking for one of these.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay. Actually, I've been in Egypt looking for mummies.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.
Olive the Ostrich!
Olive was standing next to a bubbling waterfall. She was wearing heavy chainmail and a knight's helmet.
Ooh!
Just then, Olive heard a loud noise.
Oh, that sounds painful.
Out of nowhere leapt a huge dragon wearing an orange headband. He swished his enormous tail this way and that. It was all very impressive.
Welcome.
I'm Olive. Who are you?
I am Claude Van Doom, student of Dragon Fu.
What's dragon flu?
I will show you.
With this, Claude showed Olive some of his best dragon fu moves.
Very good flu, Claude.
I hope my examiner agrees. I am taking the final part of my Dragon Fu exam today. If I pass, my dream to become a Dragon Fu master will come true.
What do you have to do?
I will show you.
With this, Claude took a deep breath and blew as hard as he could towards a nearby tree. Flames shot from his mouth and set the tree on fire in an instant. Whoosh!
The exam subject is an impressive display of fire breathing.
I think you should put that fire out, Claude.
Olive saw the bubbling waterfall behind her.
Quick, Claude. Use the water to put out the fire.
Claude plunged his head into the bubbling water, quickly gulping it down before blowing the lot onto the flaming tree.
Well done, Claude. You put the fire out.
But Claude didn't look very happy. Claude tried to breathe fire, but bubbles poured out from his mouth instead.
Oh, this is a disaster. How will I pass my exam in fire breathing if I am breathing bubbles?
Olive thought. She looked down at her chainmail and plucked one of the wires free.
A wire. Bubbles. I think I may have an idea.
Olive started to pull and twist the wires into different shapes, just as Claude's examiner arrived to start the test.
So, Mr. Van Doom, I hope you're ready to impress me with your fire breathing.
Claude looked at Olive and gulped.
Yes, he is, Mr. Examiner.
I'll be the judge of that, thank you.
The examiner watched as Claude took a deep breath and started to blow bubbles from his mouth instead of fire.
Oh dear.
Said the examiner, unimpressed.
Oh dear, oh dear.
But then the bubbles squeezed through the wire shapes Olive had made and formed a huge spider, a knight, even an elephant.
Well, I need something more impressive than that.
Claude took a deep breath and blew a massive bubble right at the examiner. It surrounded him, and before he knew it, he was floating up in the air inside the bubble.
Oh, I'm floating. Oh, Claude, your display of bubble breathing is more impressive than any fire breathing. Here's your certificate.
Oh, Claude, you passed.
Thank you, Olive, for all your help. With a little practice, you too could master Dragon Fall.
Really?
With this, Olive Dragon Fu chopped a tree, sending lots of fruit falling down on top of her.
Ouch! No, I think I'll stick to looking at trees, not dragon fooing them.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay, actually, I've been blowing bubbles with a dragon.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.
Olive the Ostrich!
Olive was standing in a huge room with large pictures on the walls and big, oddly shaped objects all over the place.
Oh, what a colourful place!
Suddenly, Olive heard a voice.
Where did I put them?
One of the objects began to move. It was a seagull. It wore a beret and was waving around a paintbrush. Olive jumped.
I didn't notice you back there. I'm Olive.
Greetings. I'm Vincent van Gogh, famous artist and sculptor. This is my gallery, and these are my paintings and sculptures. You like them, yes?
Oh, they're fantastic.
Exclaimed Olive.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very talented, it's true. But I just need to paint one more painting on this blank canvas for my big exhibition. Problem is, I can't find my tubes of paint. God!
Then Olive noticed something shining on one of the sculptures.
A telescope? I think I may have an idea.
Olive looked through the telescope for clues, and on the floor she spotted some drips of paint. She followed the trail of paint over to a sculpture of a man having a good old think.
Here's one.
Said Olive, throwing it down to Vincent.
Ah, my green paint!
Here's another.
Ah, my yellow paint!
Olive continued to follow the trail, finding Vincent's tubes of paint in all sorts of interesting places. She found Vincent's blue paint, his orange paint, and his purple paint. Vincent was very pleased.
Oh, yes, I must have left my paints in my great works of art as I was creating them. Well spotted, Olive. You have the eye of a great artist.
Thanks very much.
But where is my lucky color? Red.
Hey, I think I see it.
Olive had spotted it at the very top of the tallest sculpture in the room.
God, how are we going to reach that?
Don't worry, Vincent. I'll get it.
Olive jumped up on the sculpture and started to climb. She reached out and just managed to knock the paint down to Vincent.
Oh, well done, Olive.
He exclaimed.
Now I have all my paints.
As Olive cheered, she lost her balance. Olive landed on top of Vincent, who dropped his tubes of paint, which squirted all over Olive as they hit the ground. Cried Olive as she stumbled backwards, covered in paint, and fell onto the blank canvas.
Oh, no. Are you all right, Olive?
I'm okay, but I think I've ruined your canvas.
But when Olive pulled herself away from the canvas, on it was an amazing multicoloured painting of Olive.
It's spectacular!
Exclaimed Vincent.
It's a masterpiece, the best in my big exhibition.
Hey, I've always wanted to be in a painting.
Giggled Olive. They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay. Actually, I had a painting in an art exhibition.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.